ladies and gentlemen, I am here with Jay Diamond in the Peckham Rye Shopping Centre. Hi Jay Diamond, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here right now?
Hi, my name's Jay. I'm primarily a DJ. I've done lots of other different things in music, and that's taken me all over, but on and off as things happen, I'm a bit of a busybody with a video camera, so I managed to get myself into a situation where I filmed some police brutality in New York quite recently, and I'm kind of in and around a court case around that at the moment. Came back to London, and within 2 weeks there's riots, so I've been out on my video camera again, you know, really wanting to talk to people. You know, there's one thing to kind of see things on the news, but like on a street level, I want to know what people in each area feels, what they think about their community, what they think about the riots and the young people who've been displaying this sort of behaviour, really, because I think that's what's more important than somebody so far removed theorising about what they think it might be.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Can you tell us, let's start with you as an individual. You're at home, you turn on the news and you're seeing London is on fire.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I was shocked, really shocked about the whole thing. I mean, the first night it was just horrendous, and you know, I spent basically 4 days just glued to the news because I was partly thinking, right, it's moving. By the second night, is it going to move to my area? You know, what area is it moving to? I've got friends there, so I'm phoning my friends, are you alright? You know, friends are saying they can't leave the house. Other friends were calling me saying, can I come to your house? There's nothing going on there yet. You know, and everyone's trying to kind of sort themselves out. So in that sense, it was pretty scary because it just looked completely out of control.
Okay, so you went down to Tottenham Sunday morning to document the footage. What was it like just seeing everything burnt to a cinder?
So sad. It was horrible. And some of the buildings were still burning, you know, there was still smoke bellowing. And what was really sad and what made me so mad is it was people's like local businesses, people's homes, and that pissed me right off. Because I just thought this is fucking nonsensical. It doesn't make sense to burn your own community, and that made me really mad and just really depressing to see.
Now you've got connections and have worked with young disaffected people, youth vending teams, that kind of thing. So looking from that kind of angle, what support would you offer them, or does the government need to offer them in order to rectify the mentalities of these kids?
Yeah, it is about mentality. It's massively about mentality. And, you know, and the kids that I've worked with, probably some of the most far removed from being, you know, included in what we call normal society. And it's really tricky. There are no straight answers. It requires a lot of work, and it's not just about throwing up money at something. You know, we have to come from a lot of different angles, and from my point of view, it's a societal issue, and it runs deep on so many levels. You know, we're talking about media, we're talking about drug use, you know, the fact that a lot of young people now are smoking skunk, which has high THC levels from a very young age, and it affects brain chemistry. You know, you're looking at cuts, you're looking at the young people who aren't engaged, and the feeling is, from the work that I used to do, you would try and offer them lots of different things to do, and they're not interested. So from that point of view, you know, I don't have all the answers, but I truly believe that no kids are born bad, and I truly believe there's always hope, that you can always move forward. And I think there are lots of agencies and there are lots of people in the community who are willing to do the work, who are very well educated in terms of knowing what these kids want. They might not be university educated, but they know what kids want and need in their area. And what we need to do as a society is enable them to go and do the work that they can actually do. You know what I mean? There's a lot of community-focused, community-led organisations and groups that are not being funded. So for me, that's a definite thing that needs to be looked at.
And finally, I know that you've been out on the ground talking to people on a daily basis. So generally, what is the sense of society right now towards these tragic events?
I think very similar, you know, thoughts is massive amount of disgust at the behaviour, and then there's also, I'm not happy about it and we need to ask why, we need to look for answers, and it's all well and good to say it's disgusting, but once I'm over that, you know, people are now asking questions, people are saying this doesn't happen to me. And that's the feeling that I get.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, Jay Diamond, and continue doing the great work.
Thank you.